Welcome to our final chapter, Chapter 5. The essential outcomes for this chapter: you'll create and design an entire website using codes from all chapters by structuring and styling horizontal and vertical nav bars, utilizing universal fonts such as Google Fonts, inserting music and video, creating and designing relative pages, and connecting key terms in the chapter with application. Section 5-1, Horizontal Nav Bars. A horizontal nav bar are links that run from left margin to right margin. Nav bars function as a block level element. The example below demonstrates a horizontal nav bar. They can be placed above or below the header, which contains the masthead on a web page. There are two types of nav bars. There's the relative nav bars, which are nav bars that are created for the internal pages of your website. These are specific pages that users can click on to access information. The home page is saved as index.html. Then there's absolute nav bars, which are used to access external pages or pages outside your own website. They are usually linked to websites that are similar. For example, if we were doing a football website, we might also create absolute links that link to the NFL and ESPN. These absolute nav bars or links are actually a courtesy to users. The last chapter, you learned how to style vertical nav bar links. This chapter, you will learn how to style horizontal nav bar links. Relative horizontal nav bars is set up in an unordered list, just like vertical nav bars. The difference between a horizontal and a vertical nav bar is how they are styled using CSS. Setting up the nav bar horizontally. Step 1. Create the nav section that will house your horizontal nav bar. The horizontal links are set up as an unordered list, just like the vertical. The first link in the nav bar is the home page. So looking closely at the example below, you will see that the first page is the home page. The second page is chemistry, third page is literature, fourth page is peace, fifth page is physics, etc. Notice also that we have set up our anchor. We've actually linked those pages. Step 2. Create the dividers between each section. Using the LI to set up the dividers, the bar key is above the enter key. The ampersand NBSP provides blank horizontal spacing. So if you look at the example, between each of the line item pages, we have set up an LI with 2 non-break space, followed by the bar, followed by 2 more non-break spaces. This will set up spaces between each of the, or all of the line items. The nav bar will look as follows after you have it linked and you have added the extra line items. Now, setting up the CSS styling for a horizontal nav bar. If you look at the nav bar CSS styling, we have set up the min width, min height, and max height. We floated it right. We set a margin, a border, and padding. We then set up the ULLI CSS styling. The list style type :none removes the bullets. Then we have a margin left, and a font size. We then follow with CSS styling ULLI, A. Text decoration is none. Then we set our color as black. We put our font weight as bold. The last CSS that we will use is the LI space A : hover using text declaration underline. We then set up our header. We set up our nav bar. In the nav CSS selector, change the width so that it is approximately the same max width as the header CSS selector. You will have to play with the size until you get it correct. Also, remove all of the margins from the nav CSS selector. The next CSS coding that you need to add is one that applies directly to the unordered list inside the nav tag. Looking at the example to the left, we added display : table. This will set up the ordered list as a table, followed by margin right and margin left, which will center the list from left to right in the margin. In the ULLI, A code, add the display : space inline. This will align the text horizontally. In the ULLI, A CSS coding, add the font size, font family, font variant, and font weight. In the LI A : hover section, add a color so that when the cursor hovers over the text, it changes color. Our final relative navbar looks as follows. You want to make sure your website is color coordinated. You want maximum number of colors for a website to be no more than 3. In the example above, there are 3 colors: black, tan, and green. Notice that when text is hovered over by the cursor, the link changes color. Congratulations, you have just finished part 1 of Chapter 5. Create a Chapter 5 folder inside your Web Design folder. Copy the potato chip folder inside your Chapter 4 folder and paste it inside your Chapter 5. Open up the potato chip index.html page located inside your Chapter 5 folder in Notepad++. Following the directions given in this PowerPoint, create a horizontal navbar. When you finish creating and styling your navbar, show your work to your teacher. Congratulations, you have just finished part 1. When you have shown me your completed work, please move on to part 2.